Release all the files. I just don't get that energy right now when these other things matter more than Epstein's files.
Well, listen, this is a boogeyman that clearly resonates with tens of millions of Americans because they are sick of powerful people, powerful men in particular, abusing these power imbalances that exist within the structure to then benefit themselves, to hide stuff for themselves, and to let Jeffrey Epstein or the people in his immediate circle get away.
Progressive political commentator Adam Mockler recently appeared on News Nation's Chris Cuomo Tonight to discuss several pressing political issues. The wide-ranging conversation covered the ongoing developments related to the Epstein case, as well as key challenges currently facing both major political parties and the current administration. In today's analysis, we'll examine key moments from this News Nation interview, exploring the substantive points raised by both Mockler and Cuomo. Their exchange offers valuable insights into the current political landscape and the critical issues dominating national discourse. Before we begin our breakdown of this important conversation, I'd like to invite our viewers to engage with our growing community. If you find value in this political analysis, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing your thoughts in the comments section below. Now, let's dive into the highlights from this News Nation segment and analyze the key takeaways from this political discussion.
So, Adam, help me understand the Epstein thing. The guy's a scumbag. You saw how I even just had to make sure that was very clear, even with Professor Dershowitz. I don't care what he pleaded guilty to. The guy's a scumbag. And anybody who was around him who knew that should be outed. My criticism of the Democrats is, why didn't you release them during Biden? What is this newfound urgency? Is it just to hurt Trump?
Yeah, first of all, the newfound urgency is because of Trump's insane actions surrounding the files. It seems like Trump is using the federal power to protect not only the people in these files, but now he's targeting people selectively that he thinks might be in the files. But number one, the investigation was still partially ongoing under Biden. And to Prince Andrews, that investigation was only just recently dropped. Secondly, Biden's admin wasn't so openly just playing defense. There's a few key things that have happened that people are forgetting. Remember, the Trump FBI edited out 1 minute of Epstein's cell footage and then had no answer for that. Trump moved Ghislaine Maxwell to a low-security prison and gave her special privileges. Trump's name was mentioned thousands of times. I just think the circumstances surrounding this are way different than anything under Biden's term, when a lot of the investigation was still ongoing. And one more thing, Biden wasn't weaponizing his DOJ in the same way that Trump is. Trump is openly sending letters to Pam Bondi saying, yo, Pam Bondi, you should go after this person, investigate this person might be guilty. Biden never did that with Merrick Garland, so I just think it's different.
Well, he certainly didn't do it the same way. Two things. One, you're right, people forget. This was also going on during the first Trump administration, okay? And there were Democrats who had urgency during the first Trump administration that then didn't have the same urgency during the Biden administration. And the second thing is that, yes, I understand the point of what has changed, but where do you expect this to go?
I just want full transparency. As an American citizen, I find it quite scary when the president seems to be using the institutions around him to protect some elites who seem to be pedophiles. I mean, Alan Dershowitz before was drawing the distinction between people who liked 17-year-olds versus 14-year-olds versus 9-year-olds. The woman, now she's a woman, like in present day, but she was talking about it. She was 14 years old. She was a girl. Yeah. When her parents came and talked to Jeffrey Epstein. So it's just, it's all definitely disgusting. I think what I want from this is a bit more transparency. I think that this
release the files.
The lack of transparency can be seen all across the administration. Like, remember, we haven't seen economic numbers from the BLS in 2 to 3 months now.
I agree.
Now, this lack of transparency can be seen everywhere. Like, they don't release the economic numbers. They don't release the files. Over and over, we just see a lack of transparency regarding crypto, regarding other transactions with Trump. It's weird.
I'm with you. I'm telling you. But I just feel like all that matters more. Okay, even the hiding of the statistics, the hiding of ICE statistics, and they keep quoting things that they won't release to everybody else in real time. I care about that more than this. I think this is a boogeyman. I think this is a boogeyman. And you can't convince me that with all the stuff that Democrats looked at and scrubbed and tried with to go after Trump, they had all of this important material in the Epstein files and just didn't use it.
Well,
It
listen,
just doesn't make any sense to me that Ghislaine Maxwell has never come out and dropped a dime. She got sent to a lesser security prison, a better prison. That's what happens when you ask somebody who's in prison to do something, like talk to an investigator. They ask for something back. Her attorneys say it's not as cush as it's being made out to, but I'm still with you. Release all the files. I just don't get that energy right now when these other things matter more than Epstein's files.
Well, listen, this is a boogeyman that clearly resonates with tens of millions of Americans because they are sick of powerful people, powerful men in particular, abusing these power imbalances that exist within the structure to then benefit themselves, to hide stuff for themselves, and to let Jeffrey Epstein or the people in his immediate circle get away. Now, Donald Trump, throughout his entire life, has abused power imbalances whenever he got the chance, whether it's him walking into dressing rooms at beauty pageants that he owns, whether it's him grabbing women because they let him do it, and now that he has the ultimate power as the president of the United States, millions of Americans are like, we're sick of this. We're sick of watching the president cover stuff up when just 10 years ago, Jeffrey Epstein was emailing with Michael Wolff saying that they had leverage over Trump. They were essentially emailing about the leverage they could potentially have over Trump. Well,
right,
leverage,
I'm with you,
what's
but Adam, look, Epstein is the last guy we should be believing, okay? And Michael Wolff can explain it any way he wants, but this guy's a dirtbag, okay? So I don't know that I necessarily believe anything that Epstein was saying because he was a rapacious liar and victimizer. But I'm with you about your critiques and why people want it. Let's remember, it started on the right. And when they believed that they were all lefties, everybody wanted it to come out. Everybody thought that Clintons killed Jeffrey Epstein. I'm with you. But here's my thing. And I see this on affordability also. That's what people are really pissed off about. You guys have high ground on it for now. Trump is going to start running around the country saying it's his issue. And let me be honest, he's a better salesman than you guys. But why not focus there on affordability? And don't say we'll do two things at once. You know we can't. Okay.
A recent exchange between Chris Cuomo and Adam Mockler has sparked an important conversation about Democratic Party messaging strategy. While both commentators raise valid points, the debate reveals fundamental questions about how opposition parties should respond in today's fast-moving political environment. The Cuomo perspective. Chris Cuomo has built a reputation for what some call both sides journalism, acknowledging flaws across the political spectrum. While this approach can demonstrate intellectual honesty, critics argue it sometimes creates false equivalencies between fundamentally different situations. In this case, Cuomo suggests Democrats risk losing focus on kitchen table issues by addressing multiple controversies simultaneously. The counter-argument, political analyst Adam Mockler offers a different perspective. Modern political parties possess the infrastructure and communication channels to address multiple issues concurrently. This isn't an either-or proposition. The progressive economic message. There's broad agreement that Democrats need stronger economic messaging. Progressive leaders like Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have demonstrated the resonance of talking directly about affordability challenges facing working families, wealth inequality and its impact on everyday Americans, economic systems that favor the well-connected over ordinary citizens. This populist economic message has proven effective across demographic groups. The Epstein Files factor. Recent polling reveals something significant. Public opinion regarding the handling of the Epstein case shows unusual cross-partisan concern, with approval ratings notably lower than on other issues, even among typically loyal supporters. When prominent political figures break ranks on sensitive topics, it often signals genuine grassroots unease, rather than mere political theatre. The broader context. Today's media environment differs dramatically from previous eras. With digital platforms, press offices, and diverse spokespeople, political parties routinely communicate on numerous fronts simultaneously. The question isn't capacity, it's priority and effectiveness. Conclusion. Effective opposition requires both affirmative vision and accountability. Democrats can champion economic populism while also pressing for transparency on matters of public concern. In an administration generating multiple newsworthy developments daily, the ability to address various issues isn't just possible, it may be necessary. The real challenge lies not in choosing between strategies, but in executing both with clarity, consistency, and genuine connection to voters' concerns. What do you think? Share your perspective in the comments below.
Doesn't happen.
You want a real raw strategy answer? It's that Donald Trump has spent the past 24 hours melting down about Jeffrey Epstein on Truth Social, trying to defend himself for whatever, God knows what reason. You can intuit what reason, but he's melting down on Truth Social rather than focusing on affordability. And like I just said, you can use this lack of transparency on Epstein as a framework to see his lack of transparency on affordability, on the releasing of economic numbers. I think that just thinking that Democrats should ditch the Epstein issue, I don't know what the strategy would be there. The Epstein issue is important to millions of Americans, and it reveals how much of a sick MFer Donald Trump is, how he will use these institutions to protect himself, use them to enrich himself. He's talking more about the ballroom than he is affordability, more about the ballroom than he is Epstein. And like, I don't get your issue with us talking about two things at once. Trump talked about the border wall, the economy, and a few other things. We can talk about his cruelty, the economy.
Here's why, Adam. Here's why. He talked about them because that's his deal. It's not about doing anything, right? He talks about them, and he's a great salesman. That's the con. In con man, it's about confidence and the ability to sell. I don't believe you guys could do two things at once. I don't. I've never seen the Democrats execute any kind of strategy, let alone a dual one. I'm saying you have the right issue right now. I think the shutdown was the wrong way to do it. But right now, people in America, at least until the Epstein stuff, which you guys brought back up, right? When you had the opportunity to say, hey, so what's your plan, MAGA, for bringing down costs? If you say we're making it up about the subsidies and reimbursements and how to get costs down, what's your plan? They don't have one.
The good thing is, affordability will likely come back to the forefront because the ACA subsidies are still set to expire next month. I believe they expire.
Yeah,
I have
that's
a friend
true.
Whose mom didn't even know she was reliant on these subsidies until the entire shutdown debacle happened. Then she realized, wait a minute, I'm reliant on these subsidies. Now she's hyper-focusing on what's happening, and she was apolitical before, too. So now she's watching, and it's going to be pretty clear which party shoots down the extension to the ACA subsidies and which party is fighting for lower premiums. So we could still pivot to this affordability issue, but dude, Trump is squirming. Let us put Trump into a corner. He's squirming right now. Do you see his Truth Social posts? This dude is squirming.
Yes, I see him. It's only a matter of time before they're about me, by the way. So, I get it. I get the dynamic. I'm just saying the midterms are going to be about who connects to the majority, and affordability is the issue. And to me, it's just every moment spent on something other than that is a moment potentially wasted. But I'll tell you what's never wasted. Moments talking to you. You're smart, you're with it, you're connected, and I appreciate you.
In a recent discussion between Chris Cuomo and Adam Mockler, both commentators raised compelling points about Democratic strategy heading into the midterm elections. Let's break down their arguments and examine what might be the most effective path forward. The case for dual messaging. Adam Mockler argues that Democrats have the capacity to pursue multiple strategic objectives simultaneously. His analysis suggests that Trump's recent challenges present an opportunity to reach independent voters, not the Republican suburban voters Democrats have historically struggled to convert, but genuine independents who may have previously supported Trump or could choose to stay home during the midterms. This represents a potentially significant voting bloc that Democrats have often overlooked in favor of the elusive, moderate Republican voter. Healthcare as a defining issue. Chris Cuomo presents an equally persuasive argument centered on healthcare policy, specifically the Affordable Care Act. With Republicans controlling all branches of government, Cuomo suggests Democrats should strategically position the GOP as solely responsible for addressing America's healthcare challenges. The question Democrats should be asking, where is the Republican healthcare plan? As premium costs rise and healthcare accessibility remains a concern for millions of Americans, accountability becomes crucial. If Republicans lack a comprehensive solution despite having complete governmental control, that becomes a powerful talking point leading into the midterms. The persistence of messaging. The lesson from Republican political strategy is clear. Consistency matters. When given a political advantage, Republicans have historically hammered their message relentlessly across every available platform. Democrats could benefit from adopting similar discipline, appearing on news programs, podcasts, and social media with a unified message demanding Republican solutions to healthcare challenges, a unique vulnerability. Mockler also highlights something noteworthy. Among the numerous controversies surrounding Trump across both administrations, certain scandals appear to resonate differently with voters and create genuine political vulnerability. Strategic Democrats might recognize which issues have the most traction with persuadable voters. The bottom line: both approaches have merit. Democrats can simultaneously hold the administration accountable on healthcare policy while addressing other concerns that resonate with independent voters. The key is consistent, disciplined messaging that makes clear who bears responsibility for policy outcomes. What do you think? Does simultaneous messaging dilute democratic effectiveness, or can they successfully pursue both strategies? Share your perspective in the comments below. If you found this analysis valuable, please like and subscribe for more political insights and analysis. This is Insights Brief, and I'll see you in the next video.